The valiant VDP forces in Burkina Faso intercepted some group of Al-Qaeda sect in the outskirts of Kanchari. Ladies and gentlemen, they said it was a very ferocious counteroffensive. They were actually carrying some supplies to some of their cells because according to the information we had, some of their members were sick, and some of them were still recovering from wounds that they sustained from the skirmish they had with some of the troops. So this is like a place to fall back to when they are incapacitated to some extent. So the numbers of elements that were trying to bring supplies for them in terms of medical supplies and all of that, they were intercepted by some VDP soldiers now, and they were liberated. Right now as we speak, they've been sent to Valhalla, and right now they are drinking ale from carved on in Valhalla. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, there is this thing that people say, and I like to clarify it. People talk about the VDP being militias. No, VDP are not militias. There are people that volunteered to defend the homeland. Now, these are like people like you and I that volunteered in our country to support the fight for the homeland. So they go through some military training. It's like going for a military short service training. So short-term training, and you get, the necessary capabilities, mentally, you get mentally equipped on the necessary capabilities you need to be able to hold your own on the front line. So this is what happens. So it goes when I see these narratives on the social media, the VDP is actually some sort of militia. No, the people that actually build this narrative are trying to make it look as if the VDP is some sort of, no, the VDP is actually a very, very good volunteer defense force that actually helps to fight against these elements in Burkina Faso. So you can see the weapons right there, and you can see the dressing of the personnel. That's the VDP out there, and that's really, really a very big plus to the VDP, because these are not really the offensive. These are not the elites in Burkina Faso. These are not the rapid intervention brigade. These are not the force attack, right? So, I mean, these are the VDPs, just people like you and I that are brave enough to represent our country and, liberate our country from the oppression. And this is an existential war. So, whatever these VDP guys are doing is actually heroic right now. So, much respect to the VDP. The second information we have is that we have the Mujahideen actually, celebrating, what they call celebration. They said, they actually did a sort of remembrance for some of their martyred soldiers. These are 6 elements that, according to the information we had, were trained from Syria. So they came back, they actually learned, according to the information they released at the time, they said they learned the Quran from back to front, from front to back, and they actually, they celebrated them. Even before they went for that battle on that day, they actually waved some flag and all of that. Nobody knew that they were waving the goodbye flag, and they were dressed differently. They were clean, they were called the elites, and ladies and gentlemen, they tried to launch an offensive against the Malian armed forces, and in one skirmish they were all liberated. And now I believe even if they are crawling, they will be with their 72 virgins right now. So these are the boys, and I think sometimes ago on this platform, for those that got in here very early, you could see that we actually posted some of their image, now that they look like this and what they look like after the skirmish that happened. So ladies and gentlemen, they got liberated, and whatever they want to do, you know, they continue to build up a sort of propaganda to hype up things on social media, but the realities on the line of content is always very, very different. You know, the lies can go very quickly, but when the truth catch up with it, it always end up in embarrassment for those people. But I love the fact that they came out to announce that this was what happened, okay? They didn't deny it. So, in Kumbri, last night there was a serious counter-offensive by the Burkinabe armed forces, and these were the Burkinabe Rapid Intervention Brigade, right? So the JNIM were trying to take the Kumbri camp again. You know, they recently got defeated in Kumbri, where the vultures were all over the place, you know, feeding their tummies and all of that. So they tried to launch a sort of revenge counter-offensive, trying to get their get back. So, ladies and gentlemen, they got there, but they got liberated and they were marshaled into Valhalla. So, ladies and gentlemen, these were the equipments that were recovered. The motorcycles were recovered. A lot of things were recovered from these elements. Now, you know, last week we actually spoke about some Western machineries that were actually liberated by the valiant AES forces, right? So these are the pictures of those Western machineries, you know. I imagine, you know, what they look like in a jalabia, but right now they've been sent to where they are supposed to be sent to. Don't come to Africa to come and fight a war. That is not your war, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, that is, in my opinion, I believe these are some instructors that just got neutralized. You know, we actually talked about it, and somebody said we should post the evidence and all of that. So that's the evidence right there. They got neutralized and they've been sent home. God bless them and God bless their families as they do. So now they are absent. So they used to be present, but now they are absent. So the last information of the day. So there's a drone situation in Mali. So the farmer of Mali actually countered some drones, and in one of the videos that was shown, look at the drone on the floor. So this drone was actually brought down, and several other drones were actually, you know, devastated. And what happened was, after this drone was shot down, the Malian armed forces actually launched a quick counter-offensive in search of the control unit of this drone. And ladies and gentlemen, before they could disembark from their control units, you know, they were found and they were actually liberated. And after they were liberated, you could see the things that were recovered. You can actually see the Starlink right there. You can see the drone. You can see the number of guns. So according to the information that was given to us from anonymous sources, they said everything within the perimeter of that drone control unit that had breaths, they actually praised God. So you already know what it is, because we don't want to use language that actually would limit the hearts and all of that, but that's what has been happening to us a lot of times. So that's why we always appreciate those that find it very, very well to support us. We actually appreciate it. So I want to know if we should continue posting the receipts of these skirmishes and all these events that are happening. The reason why I actually stopped posting it some time ago was because I was informed that it's actually against YouTube policy and it limits the reach of the video. So a lot of people have been saying, oh, we are supposed to be in so and so. So the reason why we've not actually gotten there is because the video, the reach will be limited because it's against YouTube policy, as a result of the fact that we post you know, firearms and all of that, and you know, so we've actually stepped it down to an extent. We used to post, you know, the bodies before, but now we've stepped it down. And now, you know, this is what we have. And again, in a separate location, the JNIM actually informed us that they launched a counter-offensive where they were able to do this and do this and do that. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I go, we'll be posting the evidences and what they said they did, what they claimed they did, what they did not do. We'll be talking about it in our episode, next episode that will be dropping at 1 a.m. Early tomorrow morning. So we just want you to, you know, see everything that is going on. And before that, let's just show you a little bit of, you know, that particular video we want to analyze. Watch this video. You know, the struggle continues. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching and God bless you.